Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to What's That Tiana podcast. I'm Tiana. I'm a New York City native. I'm a beauty and skincare lover and content creator. However, I do like to talk my shit. My throat chakra is anointed, and y'all gonna hear and feel what the hell I gotta say, all right? Now, y'all can find me on all social media platforms at Estetiana. Those social links will be in the episode description, so definitely check that out, as well as any other contact information you may need from me. Now, although I do love to create content for fun, this is content creation, and all content creators deserve support for their labor. Now, ways you can support me is my Cash App. All of that will be in the description. Spotify listeners, there's always going to be episode polls and episode Q&As. Very fun to participate in. I love those personally. And y'all can fill those out every episode after y'all finish listening to them. So definitely, Spotify listeners, definitely make sure you participate in all the fun episode polls and Q&As. Also, other ways you can support is listener support. Now, what listener support is, that's going to be a link that's in the description, the episode descriptions as well. Any amount that you can give will be very, very much appreciated. Small donations help, whether you believe it or not. Your girl needs a big mic. Pause. Now, if you on Clubhouse, you know that inside joke. Your girl needs a big mic, all right? I want y'all to be able to hear me better. This is an investment, and I know we're going to transition over, or maybe y'all would prefer me to transition eventually at some point over to video podcasting, and I need equipment and a setup for that. I want to make sure that we get this thing right. So any small donations and help and support will definitely help with investing in that. So that would be so appreciated. Other ways y'all can support is my Amazon wish list. Okay, all the links will be in the episode description. So everything that I'm talking about will definitely be in the links, the episode description. Also, you can send in voice messages to give me suggestions. If you have any questions, you need advice on something, or whatever, you just want to tell me a nice positive message, your input on something, keep things appropriate, okay? We're all grown. Well, most of the people listening to this should be grown and know the difference between right and wrong and what's appropriate and what's downright disrespectful. So keep it cute, because I have no problem checking y'all, all right? But yes, you can always send a voice message, and you might just make a cameo in the next episode, okay? So definitely feel free to leave voice messages. And last but not least, this is probably one of the most important ways to support out of all. Rate and review the shows, please. Whether you're on Apple listening, Spotify, Anchor, or any other platform, please rate and review and share. Okay, these are very important. Please get the word out so more listeners can hear it. That will push this out. I would love for y'all to really do that. So just keep all of this in mind. I want to push out more things for y'all, be more consistent. And I just want the same love to be shown in return, all right? I need the love reciprocated around this bitch, all right? So a part of my healing journey, my healing and spiritual journey, was to seek closure for myself from past relationships. Now, being diagnosed with PTSD, I figured my past was directly related to that, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, and I say that because there's definitely trauma surrounding past relationships I've been in. I've been through some crazy shit. And it was important for me to heal that and heal that trauma, those open wounds, because, no matter how painful, embarrassing, or even like a waste of time things may have seemed at that time, it was important for me to heal that, because instead of viewing it as like such a negative thing, like viewing breakups as such like this angry, bitter, thing that happens, I didn't want to view it as as negative. I wanted to focus on the valuable lessons, because that was the positive in it. Learning and knowledge is always, a blessing. That's always a positive. So I wanted to change the narrative and just, shift my perspective on it. Because if I didn't, I was just going to continue to be angry. And I know for a fact that my PTSD is directly stemmed with these past relationships, well, from these past relationships, because, I would have like flashbacks that would haunt me and like even nightmares about certain things that have happened. So this was extremely important for me to heal because, bitch, I didn't went through it. Just to get on the things that I've learned from my past relationships, because the main thing I want to focus on is, what did you learn from your ex? What I learned from my exes, was to learn how to be direct and upfront about what I want, about what I expect. I've learned to not be impressed by the bare minimum, buying flowers, giving me compliments, buying me things, holding the door open, holding the chair, pulling out the chair for me. That's the bare minimum. It's well appreciated. It is the little things that count. However, we can't just be so easily impressed as women. It's not, no. We should not be easily impressed by the bare minimum. Like my sis Lauren Hill said, respect is just the minimum. Why is the poom poom getting wet? Because a dude got manners. I'm sorry. It's nice to know you have home training. You were brought up in a respectable home. You have manners, you have etiquette, you have decorum. That's beautiful. But that's the bare motherfucking minimum. Sorry, like I'm not deep throating you because you said thank you and please. I'm sorry. What's going on here? Um Another thing that I've learned is to not accept struggle love. And it's okay to realize when that doesn't align. I think women, especially Black women, have a hard time understanding this because we've been so lit into accepting that, oh, we just got to prove our worth, and our community is struggling, and I get it if we don't got it right now. But it's just like, it's okay to like throw in the towel at some point. It's okay to accept, like, hey, this is the last struggle relationship I'm going through. And it's okay to have standards for yourself. Like, I'm not putting no money on your books. I'm not helping you out with no crazy ass bills if I don't really have it like that myself. Like, shit like that. And that struggle love of sacrificing to like put someone before you and put someone, first, that's not okay. What another thing I've learned is to make sure that I'm straight, that I'm good first before helping out other people. And this is beyond romantic relationships. But for the sake of this topic, I've really like neglected and like abandoned myself to like really put so much energy into other people's, and it was just a waste of time. It was wasted energy. I don't regret being a good person and having like a pure heart and the purest intentions, but that energy that I put out in the universe for them, made shit move and shake for them, that could have been for me, because I looked up one day when it was all said and done and I was asked the fuck out. And it made me realize I was holding the weight of these relationships the whole time. It was me moving mountains, not these motherfuckers. It's normal to want space from your partner. I realized, I learned it was normal to want space. Quality time don't necessarily mean that we need to be up under each other. It's normal to want space. I don't think relationships where you can't do anything without the other is a healthy relationship. I think for me it's not. I'm not here to speak on other people's lives. I'm just not. But I don't think it would work for me if I was in a relationship where it's like, oh, if you see me, you see them, and vice versa. No, not gonna happen. Another thing I've learned is I should not have to beg somebody to give me attention, make time for me, put in effort. Like, I'm not hounding somebody to do something with me or for me. Like, I've definitely been in positions where it's like I would have to cry and bitch and moan for them to spend time with me. And I had to realize, wait, maybe this motherfucker's just not into me. Even if they were in a relationship with me. Like, I had an ex who I felt like I really had to beg for this nigga to make time for me. And it was like, nigga, you wanted this relationship. You initiated this relationship. You wanted to make it official before me. I didn't want you to be my boyfriend. Nigga, you convinced me that you were waiting for me to come around. And then when I do entertain your black ass, you sat up there and became lazy. Your efforts became very fucking lazy. So like, damn, you wasted me and your time? That's crazy. But yeah, I learned not to beg for nobody's motherfucking attention ever. Never overshare because things can be used against me. I'm very adamant about communicating effectively. I'm on top of making sure we hash things out, that we are on the same page, that we directly communicate what it is that we need and expect, and just whatever. Communication is key. If we don't got communication, trust, what do you have? Now, back to bringing it to oversharing, like, I've definitely been very honest about certain things that have happened to me because I'm thinking it's just a heart to heart situation and I got the purest intentions. I'm hearing them out. I'm hearing their fucking life stories. You know what's crazy? Like, I've told certain people I've dated things in confidence, and when it was convenient for them, and especially in like an argument or in another way for them to manipulate the situation to try to pull at my heartstrings or something, they'll bring it up and try to like use it against me to either hurt me, do like a low blow, or to try to get their way somehow. And that was one of the most painful things I have ever been through because that shit is so wicked to me. I would never do that to anybody. I wouldn't. I don't want to bring up things that are a low blow, things to like really sting someone and like twist the knife in. I don't want to do things like that. That is evil to me. Not to sound dramatic, but that shit is sadistic. Like, I don't like that type of shit. I despise people that do things like that. Even if it's not towards me. When I see other people do that to other people, I hate it. Because like, why are you so wicked in that way? So that oversharing shit can really hurt you if you don't. So that's the thing. These things that are intimate, you only want one or a few people to know about. Some shit, if you're not telling a professional therapist about this shit, baby, take that up with God or take that shit to the grave. You better talk to a motherfucking tree, get some healing, ground yourself, because as someone who takes like real personal information serious, that shit cuts deeper than a lot of the shit that I've been through. But moving on to the next thing that I've learned. Never talk to a man with kids. I'm not talking to a man with kids ever again. This is just my personal take. I want my own baby father. Let me stop. I want my own husband because I'm not pushing out his baby till he better rock. Okay? Word to Nikki. I'm not talking to a man with kids ever again. I've dealt with the baby mama drama. Okay? I've had bitches try to fight me and go toe to toe with me on my birthday over some mediocre ass dick. And like, it was crazy. Like, I'm not with the baby mama drama. I'm really not. And it's like, it's complicated because me having the good heart that I am, I didn't even really want to beat her ass. Like, she was saying all type of wicked and vile things to me and about me, but like, at the end of the day, if I fuck you up or if something worse happens to you, now his child has to be without a mother, and he not gonna fuck with me because of that. I'm gonna feel bad with God and that little baby that gotta grow up without a mother. So no, like I'm not doing the baby mama drama because I can't even put hands on you the way that I really want to because I'm over here thinking about this child being without a mother. I'm not doing the baby daddy shit. I'm gonna say something that might be a little controversial. Controversial might get people to tussle a little bit because I know some people have a different standpoint on it. It's fine, don't care. I want to say one of the major things, if not the most major thing I've learned from past relationships is to just be prepared when things don't work out. It's a difference between going into a situation already negatively thinking like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out, or you're like waiting for something bad to happen, you're waiting for the breakup. However, as someone who's been in multiple relationships, yeah, things don't work out. So it may be bound to happen again. Some things are inevitable. Okay? Be prepared for how you're going to cope and grieve and move the fuck on. Some people are able to move on very quickly, and some people it takes them a while to process all of it. Now, I think what helps with that process is to already start coping and grieving while the relationship is ending, because I know for me when a relationship ended, I already knew that it was ending for some time. And I think that is what helped me move on pretty quick from situations and relationships that just didn't work out. I am not one of those people who life I've been in a situation, this is why I could say I've learned from it, where it was like I thought it was going to be the end all be all, that the relationship wasn't going to work out. Like I thought I wasn't going to be able to live without that person in particular. And I called my dad crying. Oops, sorry, y'all. I called my dad crying, like, I don't know how I'm going to live without him. And my dad said, what? My dad said, what? You'll live without him. Stop that. I quickly got it together a little bit. I was going through it. I was crying. It was like, Tiana. Like he had got me together real quick. I had to pause, like, all right, you right. I'm still crying and shit on the phone, but I calmed down just a little bit for a quick second because my dad was, I know when he about to check me. I'm like, okay. I'm bugging the fuck out. Tweaking just a little bit. But not feel like it's the end of the world when the relationship is ending, whether you break up with them or it's mutual or they break up with you. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, I feel like especially for women in particular and girls, like Disney really set us up to fail, because why are we thinking that shit is fairy tales and happily ever after? No, like this is real life. This is not Cinderella. This is not what's this name? Snow White. This is not that. All right? Like things don't be working out, and you have to prepare yourself and to not give all of yourself to the point where if it don't work out, you're lost and you don't know who you are. You lose your whole individuality. You don't know what to do with yourself. You contemplate in unaliving yourself. Like, no, it's really not that deep. And that may sound insensitive, but it's truly not. It's not that deep to the point where you have to lose yourself. And yes, we go through these things, but like, I just want to say, like, since that past relationship, I have never, ever, ever, ever felt lost when a relationship didn't work out. Relationships that happened after that, yeah, things may have been unfortunate. I definitely been through some shit after the fact. Okay. But I didn't feel lost. I didn't feel like I didn't know myself anymore. I didn't feel like I didn't have faith that life would go on. I didn't feel like that. I really had to like learn what healthy attachment is. I really did, because like that's not love, because you don't fucking love yourself when all of that shit is happening. Like I truly, like I was giving all of this love instead of like giving that shit to myself first. I had to stop putting faith in like all of these motherfucking fairy tales of like, oh, this man is going to come in and save me and we're going to live this and live that, and preparing for if something doesn't work out, or already knowing like, hey, like, yeah, I'm gonna grieve, I'm gonna be sad, might even be depressed for a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. And I know some people are like, oh, well, don't put that out there in the universe. And why are you thinking like, oh, if this doesn't work out? Because it might not. Enjoy it while it lasts, while it's healthy, while it still benefits you somehow, while you're still fucking happy. But when it don't work out, when it doesn't work out, deal with that shit. Be prepared. I'm tired of us being delusional. I got tired of being delusional about, oh, this is it. I'm not thinking about breaking up. And the thing is, just because you don't ever think about it or you don't think it's a possibility doesn't mean it won't fucking happen. It's people that have been married for 15, 20 plus years and they end up getting divorced. So I'm pretty sure they wasn't thinking about it not working out at the fucking wedding, but it's inevitable if that's what's going to happen. Just having the thought of, you know what, let's say, God forbid, this don't work out, I'm gonna have to deal with it this way. So that way you're not so fucked up to the point where you can't function, you don't want to do this, you calling out of work, you like, it's fucking up your bread, it's fucking up your house. Like you don't want to function because of a relationship, maybe not forget about, but you're going to heal from, and eventually start dating again. And you're going to start the process all over again, which is nothing wrong with that. It's a part of life. Remember that relationship that you thought you'll never get over? Now you fucking somebody else. Really think about it that way. I feel like this turned into a lecture. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I don't know. I felt like I needed to get that off my spirit. But that's definitely something I learned. And I've even spoke with this with my current boyfriend. Like, yes, we love each other and we want to make this work and we want to grow, build together, all of that. However, I'm not going to be delusional or in denial about, whether if this relationship is not meant to work out. It's fucking life. It's not the end of the world. And I'm going to be good with or without a man. I already know that. So I want to talk about the word breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing is a term to describe narcissistic relationships where the narcissist gives out scraps or crumbs of what they feel the other partner would want just to get by. Now, I'm not here to diagnose people I don't know as narcissists. I'm going to wait until I get my psychology degree to do that. To go further into breadcrumbing, what I mean by throwing the other partner's scraps and the narcissist throwing crumbs, this means like the narcissist knows that other person wants affection. They want that person to spoil them, to do considerate things, do things that are of their love language, what an average, normal, healthy relationship would look like. Bringing peace and harmony. This may look like not arguing for a day, actually being affectionate, actually spending quality time, to try to convince them that they are there for them and that that's what the relationship can be like, because that's what keeps narcissistic relationships afloat, is that other person having hope that that relationship can be better, and that it's not always going to be so miserable and neglectful, because that's basically what narcissists do, who do the breadcrumbing tactic. They notice when the other person is pulling away and drawing back. So in order to reel them back in, that's when they start doing the nice favors. They actually start to engage more in conversation, actually planning the dates, actually communicating effectively, being sweet, actually texting back and having meaningful conversations, doing things that they know the other partner wants because they want to make sure that they keep them around. And this is how narcissistic relationships last so long, because the other partner doesn't even know they're being breadcrumbed. And I definitely have been breadcrumbed before, whether it was someone I was just dating or someone I was in an actual relationship with. This is definitely a lesson I have learned. And with this whole breadcrumbing thing, it's the norm for the relationship to not have any substance to it, to go without these things that you want in a partner. So by the time that these little things do happen, they do throw you a little scrap, a little crumb, you're starving by that point. So you're just cherishing all of the little bitty crumbs and you're throwing them a parade, and you're just so happy that this person was just mindful of your needs and your wants for that moment. So do not fall for breadcrumbs. I definitely had to learn that, and that even ties back into not, making a big deal out of the bare fucking minimum, because you deserve so much more. You deserve everything you want and more, and then some. You deserve someone. I realize I deserve someone that wants to go the extra mile, like go above my expectations, not someone that just barely meets the fucking criteria. Another thing I had to learn was to recognize when people were benefiting from my loneliness, letting partners encourage me isolating myself from like family and friends. This was definitely a real valuable lesson to me, because an example I can give about someone benefiting from being lonely, like just sharing how certain things, wasn't right, or I wasn't happy with like the dysfunction that was going on in my own home, and basically people offering for me to, just hang out with them or come along with them somewhere so I can have a bit of a break from my house and what was going on at home. And I'm thinking they're just being a nice person, letting me stay with them for a while or whatever, come with them wherever, when really they just wanted some ass. I had to recognize when people were benefiting from me, like from my loneliness, from me being in distress with certain situations. And just to talk about the dangers of isolating, like that is something that a lot of narcissistic abusers do. That's a tactic that they use so that you can only feel like you can rely or count on them. So you lose all of your community, all of your support outside of that relationship. God forbid you're in an abusive or unsafe situation. No one knows how to get to you. You don't feel like you can reach out to someone because you felt like you burnt those bridges. And that is the dangerous side of isolating yourself. Letting someone convince you to isolate yourself from your support system and from your loved ones and such. Like that part can get very scary and very dangerous. So can we talk about karma? Because I know I've been through it. Now, another thing I've learned, as much as I am a person that wholeheartedly believes in revenge, it's not always needed. That takes a lot of energy to go into executing revenge on someone. And a lot of the times, karma has bigger plans than your revenge ever will. So I've learned to just let people experience the chaos they deserve. And I may not be front row to see that happen, but their time is coming. And if you know you are a person that is divinely protected, someone who has pure intentions, at least you was good to that person, and you're just overall a good person, you don't got to worry about doing anything. Like, I'm all for getting it back in blood. However, let karma tear their ass up. Speaking of karma, look where Saturn is in your chart. All right. For the astrology people, look where Saturn is. You can tell how you may get your karma and how karma can affect other people who fuck you over. So just look into that. I know I've been through karma. And an example of that was when I had cheated in a previous relationship and life tore my ass up. Okay. That was definitely something I learned, is to just do right by people. And the last thing I'll say about, as far as the lessons I've learned, is for me to have boundaries with my family and for my partner to have boundaries with their families. I think this is something that a lot of people may kind of hesitate to touch on, but I don't give a damn. This is very important, especially for like really young people, because you have to set the tone at a certain point, because then you'll be an adult and you don't have boundaries with your relationship and between, you know, your romantic relationship and your family. I feel like it's very important to separate the relationship you have with your parents and family and your romantic relationship, because if you don't, family and parents tend to overstep their boundaries when it comes to being involved in their kids, you know, relationship, because you let them. They feel entitled to that space, and then it could become a bit disruptive and chaotic, because it'll be pushback on, hey, I'm your family, I'm your mom, I'm your father. Why do you feel like I don't need to know or be involved in this kind of way? And it's like, yes, it's lovely for everyone to get along and be in a position where you feel like, oh, blood couldn't make us any thicker. However, sometimes it may not be that, and it doesn't need to be that. I don't feel like that's a requirement. I know I may get a little pushback for this. I know this tends to be debatable sometimes, but I don't necessarily feel like I have to be close with a partner or whoever I'm dating's family. I don't. I am fine with the cordial hi and bye. Everyone should be respectable. Everyone should be able to get along, but a lot of the times that is not the case. Some people come from very dysfunctional families, and some people personalities just don't click, or they may not click right away. I am not pressed to impress anyone's family or parents. I am not. And as someone who has their own strained relationship with their family and like a strained relationships with family, I used to feel like, you know what, maybe this could actually be the family that I didn't have growing up. And lo and behold, child, I was disappointed meeting some of these people, parents and families that I dated, and I realized how fucked up they were. And I'm like, wow, this explains why this motherfucker is the way that he is. Uh, you know, I don't necessarily feel like I have to get in good with the parents. Like I am not here to choose the family. I am in a relationship with the man, not the man's family. Like in a perfect world, everything will be good. That's your second mom, that's your second dad, and you know, everyone is kumbaya, and the marriage and the babies, the grandparents, everything's lovely. But a lot of the times it's not like that. Many times it's not like that. So I don't feel like it's necessary to be super close. I will not hold my breath about a relationship because of how important that family may think that they are, but really it's just an extension of that person. And I will never put myself in a situation where it's like, oh, my partner needs to choose me over their family. However, if there are no boundaries set up the way that I have boundaries set up with my own damn family being involved in things, then my ass gonna have to exit left. Because it's important for family to know that a lot of the time shit is just not their business. You know, their relationship is for them. So having boundaries with your family, your partner having boundaries with their own family when it comes to the relationship, y'all relationship is essential. It's critical. It's crucial. It should be a priority. It's very important because a lot of the times you can uncover some shit, like it be emotional incest going on, where like the relationships between the son and the mother, or the daughter and the father, is very emotionally inappropriate. It can be a whole lot of drama surrounding that, and that's where you have to decide whether or not that relationship is good for you, because I'm not competing with no nigga mama. I'm sorry. You came out of there, it sound like you want to go back up in there. Like, I don't mind men who are mama's boys, who have healthy, close appropriate relationships with boundaries with their moms and their families. I don't mind that, because are you going to speak up for me, speak up for yourself when your family does or says some out of pocket stuff? I've had a dude mom come up to me on some, are y'all sexually active? Are y'all using condoms? My grown ass does not need any type of bird and the bees talk, okay? You are not getting any grandkids anytime soon, if ever. What, you want to watch or something, you old freak? Why are you asking me this? You hear the bed banging against the wall. You know he folded me up like a pretzel. You see the hickey on his neck. You see the condoms in the wastebasket. Well, maybe. You hear the TV loud as hell with the music on, blasted. Lady, what you think we doing? Get out my face and mind your neck. All right, so moving on to this section of Selecta songs. It's this group called Flow. They're UK based. Some of y'all may or may not know them. They are these three beautiful young ladies from the UK. They all have beautiful voices. Recently, they released a video called Immature. Now, some of you may know them better from their like very popular song called Cardboard Box. I'ma put your shit in a cardboard box, changing my numbers and I'm changing the locks. Period. Now, the video in the song for Cardboard Box gives early 2000s Y2K vibes. Love it. Love that for them. This song Immature that they just released, the video they just released for it, beautiful. Loved the dancing, loved everything. I love how all of them equally got their times to shine, not just focus on like the lead singer. They all got their solo shots and things. I love it. I heard the girls on Twitter said they released the EP recently, and the EP is fire. So I'm gonna give the EP a listen, and I'm gonna say go listen to them too, because their voices are just so beautiful. They really giving me early 2000s R&B girl group vibe. I really think that sound needs to make a comeback. So shout out to Flo. Now the next song, the summer anthem, we don't cuss, last. Now everybody got your breakfast, shy period. Last, Burna Boy. You did that with that Tony Braxton sample. I was over here shimmying. I remember when I first heard the song, I was on Apple Music listening to whatever, and I noticed something came up. I'm like, Burna Boy released something? And this was like, I want to say well over a month ago, because I was listening to Last like when it first hit Apple Music. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, Burna Boy coming out with something? Not him bodying a Tony Braxton sample like this. It's the breakup song being a bop. Like, I don't know. Somebody check on Steph London, because I don't know how I would feel. Honestly, if a nigga made a breakup song about me and it was a hit, it was a bop, it was a summer anthem, a club anthem, I would be in the club bopping to it too. I'm gonna troll you right back, nigga. If somebody recorded me dancing to it, I'm singing the lyrics out loud. Like, yep, nigga, I'm your inspo. Thanks for thank you for letting me be your muse, nigga. Even though allegedly he was the one that cheated. But you know what? We're not gonna get into that. Shout out to all the Nigerian Leos. It's making sense. There's also been some other allegations about Burna Boy, but I ain't gonna get into that until there's some legal court documents that prove factual evidence. So yeah, yikes. Now the last selector song I'm gonna bring up is a little mini throwback. I'm putting this on the list because right after I uploaded the last episode of How to Grieve Friendships, this was the first song that came up on the suggestions on YouTube. Fair Trade with Drake and Travis Scott, right? And I found this so like ironic because you know that infamous line that was everybody's captions on IG. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Well, honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. When that album first came out and I heard that song, that line hit deep because this was definitely more closer to around the time where I was literally grieving those friendships. And I was in, still that phase where I was really grieving that shit real hard. To go back and listen to this song again now, and I'm in a much better headspace. it felt so great to hear that song, and it's still a bop. It's gonna forever be a bop. And yeah, shout out to them. Now, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want y'all to leave a voice message. The link to leave a voice message will always be in the episode descriptions, just a reminder. Feel free to leave a voice message explaining the stupidest reason that someone ever broke up with you or you broke up with them. You don't have to, I understand. It might be a little triggering for some people. Just leave a voice message talking about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Whatever you want to ask me, go ahead. I'm going to always listen to them. Feel free. Don't be shy. I just want to thank y'all for listening to this episode of Tiana Podcast. I'm enjoying and I'm loving the support. Thank y'all for all of the reposts and shares. This is definitely something that I've been thinking about for a while. It definitely has been a lot of things, a lot of bumps in the roads. For those who may not know, I lost my grandmother back in April of this year, and that was the last grandparent I had. And child, if you know me and how much I love my grandmother and how my grandmother is honestly my inspiration for everything and how much I look up to that woman. Ooh, child, now me better cry. We not doing that. I'm gonna cry when I get off this, but it took me a while to figure out. It just changed my perspective. It made me put things into perspective because I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? What am I gonna do with myself? This was one of the biggest loss, if not the biggest loss I've had in my life so far. I was preparing for that for a while because it's been a lot with my grandmother and her health, but for it to actually happen, and I wasn't expecting, it just, I don't think you're ever prepared to lose someone you love, even if you know it's a possibility. Nothing ever prepares you for that exact moment when you get that call. I definitely appreciate all of the support. And speaking of support, rate and review, share. Listener support will be in the episode descriptions. Cash App is available for you to make. All donations are accepted. And I appreciate any type of support that you can give. I know sometimes, people are not able to give money, but just a reshare, rating and reviewing, that helps. It pushes it out there. All of it is appreciated as I'm trying to build my platform and build my audience. I want to have a genuine connection with y'all. I want to listen to y'all feedback so that whatever it is that y'all want to hear, I can be able to give that and incorporate that for y'all. And of course, I'm going to be authentically myself, unapologetically myself. So, all the links for everything will be in the episode description. Follow me on all social medias at Tiana. I know I don't have my Snapchat linked. If you want to follow me on Snapchat, let me know. I don't know. I don't even be on there like that, y'all, but I'm going to try to get back on there because, I don't know, Snapchat is a little bit more of an intimate thing. So either way, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Tiana. I actually want to get back on taking YouTube serious. And yeah, but child, I know how to edit audio, but visual stuff, I don't know. Let me stop making excuses, y'all. I'll talk to y'all next week.